Hey guys, what's up? So once again, mq4podcast.com. Today we're looking at Star Trek, the animated cartoon series. And here we have a great collection that, if you're a Star Trek fan, you have to add this to your collection. This cartoon is voiced by William Shatner as Captain Kirk, Leonard Nimoy as Mr. Spock, and I believe the rest of the cast also voiced themselves. Now this is my Laserdisc collection. This set is also available on DVD. So if you want to pick it up, check Amazon, Best Buy, Barnes & Nobles, or eBay or something like that if it's out of printing. Now, I caught this series when it was on Nickelodeon Sunday. Now, here in the U.S., and I'm pretty sure it's probably the rest of the world is pretty much like this, especially up in Canada, and probably pretty much every other place. But Saturday was the really big cartoon day. And Sunday, you got a mix of some new cartoons and reruns that were probably years ago. And that's why I was able to catch this show, because Nickelodeon picked it up for reruns. And I had no idea. When I saw it, I'm like, there's a Star Trek cartoon series? It's like, wow. Like, I was a big Star Trek fan. I mean, I still am. There's certain I like the original, like Deep Space Nine, and some of the movies. I'm not a big Next Generation fan, not a big Voyager fan. Half and half on Enterprise. But so like on Sunday you would catch a lot of things. Maybe if you had a big brother that watched, you were like a lot younger than your big brother, even though I don't have a brother, but you would catch a lot of other stuff that you didn't even know about. And so it was a real gem to find on Nickelodeon. And I believe in the 70s, they really started to try to mass-produce cartoons very fast. I don't know if this is the art style or the animation house, but the animation has a very, I want to say, a little bit of a flat failing. It doesn't seem like the Marvel animation cartoons from the 60s. It seems a little bit above that. But it doesn't seem like it's on par with the animation from G.I. Joe, Transformers, or some of the other cartoons from the 80s. Now, I'm not saying the animation from G.I. Joe or Transformers is spectacular. I'm just saying that it's better than this cartoon series. Because if you're going to talk animation, I really think the two really just cartoons that just blow your mind, where it just comes from, what an animator can do. It's Disney and it's Warner Brothers. I mean, everything moves. I mean, the old cartoon from the 20s or 30s of Mickey Mouse, when he's on the tugboat, I mean, everything is just moving. He's whistling, he's dancing, his arms are moving, the steering wheel, tons of things happening in the background. Like this cartoon, when people move, like I really noticed this. Let's say Captain Kirk is talking, you just hear him talking, and nobody else is talking at all. It's just a still picture. Now they still do that to today, but the colors are better. Especially if you're watching like G.I. Joe or Transformers. I mean, the drawings were amazing. The colors were really nice. I mean, and it kind of took you out of that for a second, but you do notice it in this animation a little bit more, and I think that's because of the muted colors. I really wasn't too much of a fan of the animation. It has a very weird look, but in its defense, in some ways, I'm thinking in some ways it probably works because it looks like the TV show at the same time, but it has muted colors and it looks older, so it kind of matches up with the television show that was filmed in the 60s. So, I mean, I don't know if I would want it to look newer. I probably prefer it the way it looks now, just because I want it to match the TV series. But what I also liked about this, that the stories were not dumbed down for the kid audience. The stories are still good science fiction stories. They're still very enjoyable. I kind of consider this Star Trek series to be like the lost season of Star Trek in some ways, or season 4. Now I believe this cartoon series does not count in the world of Star Trek continuity. Not that I'm a big tracker of Star Trek continuity, but it's not considered to be Star Trek continuity. But it doesn't really bother me. I mean, I like the original Star Trek. I like this cartoon series. I like pretty much a lot of the movies. Even some of the bad ones, they don't bother me that much. I mean, I know they're bad movies, but they don't bother me. Not a big fan of Next Generation. Kind of like a few episodes or a couple of seasons at the very end. I thought they kind of got their stuff together. Not really a big fan of Voyager, but again, I like some of the stuff they put out too. Deep Space Nine, didn't like the first 2 seasons, but after that, it got really good, and I really did enjoy it. Enterprise, like the last 2 seasons, the first 2 were kind of crappy in my opinion, but love the new movie. And I kind of consider that the new movie, even though it's a reboot, in a way it's not a reboot, and how I kind of justify it in my own sci-fi nerd mind, that there was a split in the universe. So this universe of everything that these guys did still exists, but there was a split where they went back in time. So in my view of Star Trek, Spock was successful in helping the Romulans, okay? But in another universe that's the same, or maybe whatever, he wasn't, and then we get the reboot, because I still like the original, and I don't want to forget the original. However you want to think of it. Or if you, I don't want to say you have to forget about it. You can consider it one universe. This all existed, and they went back in time, and that whole timeline is going to change. But it did exist, whatever it is. But it's really good cartoon series. I really enjoyed it. It has really good storytelling. It's weird because I kind of feel that this cartoon series was ahead of its time for when it came out. I mean, the kids, I don't think, would have been into this that much. I mean, if you're just looking at some of the cartoons that were out at that time, they're very, very childish in a lot of ways. Even some of the cartoons that I love and adore, I mean, I really can't watch them today. I can't watch Transformers, can't watch G.I. Joe, can't watch Mask. I do enjoy them, and there is a special place in my heart for those cartoons. But I really can't get into them. I mean, sometimes I can watch them if they're on TV or whatever, or watch a couple on YouTube. But I gotta check my brain at the door or something. But this cartoon isn't like that. And the only other cartoon that I can think of where it's still good science fiction is Robotech, the first one. And I remember the producer of Robotech. He was talking about, there was a commentary on one of the DVDs that, G.I. Joe, He-Man, and I think maybe Mask, they had these little mini episodes at the end of the cartoon about, hey, don't smoke, don't bully kids, don't leave the stove on, whatever, you can catch a fire. All these little safety tips and how to be polite and stuff. And Robotech, the producer said they didn't feel they had to do those types of things. Just because they felt that the story itself taught good things. And there was an episode, the best pilot on Robotech, it wasn't Rick Hunter, it was actually another pilot. And he fell in love with this Centauri girl, I think that's how you say it, Centauri. And it was something about, the captain said something, he was using reverse psychology. I can't remember the episode. Watched it probably in 2004. I still can't remember it. But he said something about being racist. Something about that. And he had, maybe there was some other people on the ship and they were applauding him. And then he said something else that, for anybody who applauded, that they now feel stupid because he said something in reverse, and that racism is wrong or something like that. And then everybody was like, oh, because a lot of people didn't like the Centrades because, they pretty much blew up Earth, and there was a lot of resentment. But he was basically just saying, you shouldn't hate every Centrade because not every Centrade wanted to blow up Earth. It was certain Centrades or whatever. But the Centrades, I think they were like a warrior race, kind of like the Klingons, but not like, they're not based off of the Klingons. But there was something like that. But I'd probably say Star Trek, the animated series, and Robotech, from what I can remember. Probably Technoman too, if you know Technoman. That's in the 90s. But from what I can remember, those are probably the only cartoons that I can remember that really were, an adult, you could watch them. There were probably a few others I can't really remember. Remember there was a Planet of the Apes cartoon series. And I'm a big fan of the first Planet of the Apes movies. The other ones, they're alright. Like for B movies, they're okay. They're nothing special. But, the first two were really, really good. Johnny Quest, that was an excellent cartoon. I'm trying to think of other things. Love Johnny Quest. That was probably maybe the only other ones that I can remember that was. And there was another one, maybe Swiss Robertson, about a family, and they went back in time with the cave family or something. Maybe that one was kind of good, but it was really rare to find cartoons that were, had adult writing to, I would say mostly written from an adult point of view, but still made for children. So if you're a Star Trek fan, definitely pick up this series on DVD or Laserdisc. Laserdisc, they go around for $50 or $70. You should probably find the DVDs even cheaper. Once again, guys, this has been MP4podcast.com signing out. You guys take care. Later, guys. Bye.